Welcome back to the Abroaders Minicourse on American Airlines miles. In the previous lesson, we talked about American's partner airlines, and I shared some tools to help you explore destinations for your next trip. In this lesson, I want to help you figure out how many miles you're going to need for the travel that you want. American charges a fixed price in miles for travel between two regions. Every country in the world is assigned to a region, and some larger areas like continents can have multiple regions. Here's a quick example from AmericanAirlines.com. You can find a link to the region definitions below this video. Here you can see that the countries in the northern part of South America, like Colombia, Ecuador, and Peru, are part of one region, while the countries further south are in another. There are four main factors that affect the number of miles you need for a trip: the destination and departure airports, which define your regions, the class of service, and the airline that operates your flight. American and their partner airlines offer four different classes of service, although not all classes are available on every flight. You'll need a different number of miles for each of these classes, with main cabin or economy being the cheapest and first class being the most expensive. The next factor is which airline operates your flights. American has two different lists of prices, also known as award charts. The first is for itineraries that include only flights operated by American Airlines. For itineraries that include one or more flights operated by another airline, you'll need to use the One World and Partner award chart. So, to review the steps, to find the price, you'll need to take your departure and your destination airport, find the region for each, and then look up the price on the award chart for your desired class of service. Let's use a trip in economy from New York City to Buenos Aires as an example. Buenos Aires is in Argentina, which is in South America Region 2. New York is in the 48 U.S. states region, which isn't shown here. If your flights are operated by American Airlines, you'll open up that award chart for economy or main cabin travel. You'll see in the top left-hand corner that we're looking at the main cabin economy prices for travel from the lower 48 U.S. states. On the left side, you'll see the different destination regions. In this case, we're looking for South America too. To the right, you can see there are four columns with different mileage requirements, which are the one-way prices from New York to Buenos Aires in economy. You'll always want to focus on the mile saver prices in the red box. The anytime awards are generally not a good deal, and if you use the strategies I'll show you in this and the next video, you should be able to avoid these higher prices. So, in this case, the one-way price from New York to Buenos Aires is 30,000 miles. Round-trip travel is always double the price, so a trip to Buenos Aires and back should cost 60,000 miles. Here you can see the business and first class award chart, which is just like the economy one, but with higher prices for saver awards. To take another example, if you were traveling from Austin, Texas to Cancun, Mexico, you'd look up the Mexico region along the left side and find the business class price for a round trip should be 50,000 miles, or 2 times the one-way price of 25,000 miles. If one of your flights is operated by a partner airline, you'll need to use the One World award chart. In lots of cases, the prices will be the same, but you do want to double check to make sure you have the right award chart. Let's do one more example using the trip we looked up on the One World route map in the last video from Omaha, Nebraska to Mallorca, Spain, with connections in Chicago and Madrid. Now, since the last flight from Madrid to Mallorca would be operated by Iberia, we know we need to use the One World Partner Award chart. This chart lists the price for main cabin, business, and first class all in one place. So, if you look up Europe, you'll see that the main cabin economy price is 30,000, followed by 57,500 for business class and 85,000 for first class. Before we move on, I want to cover a couple of other questions that you might have about this chart. The off-peak prices in the far left column are for travel during certain dates of the year. You can find those dates on the American Airlines website. Not all destinations offer an off-peak discount, but it can be a great value when they do. The first class column on the far right is for flights that have a separate business and first class cabin. So for domestic first class, where there's not a separate business class on the plane, you're going to be looking at the cheaper version, the business/first class column. The last topic to cover is taxes and fees. As I mentioned in the previous video, when you redeem your miles, the frequent flyer program pays the airline for your seat. The only costs that you need to worry about are the taxes and fees, which average around $75 for economy and around $110 for business or first class. However, there is one really nasty fee that gets applied to some tickets that you need to know about. Fuel surcharges are normally not included in the price that you pay for tickets booked with miles. Usually, it's just taxes and airport fees that you pay out of pocket. But for flights across the Atlantic on the One World partner British Airways, you may see fuel surcharges as high as $300 for economy tickets or as high as $1,000 for business class flights. The key to avoiding these surcharges is to book flights operated by other airlines that you see here for flights across the Atlantic. Now, in some cases, it could be worth paying those fuel surcharges for a more convenient itinerary on British Airways. But now that you know about all of these other partners that don't add these fees, you should be able to avoid the extra costs. To wrap this up, American charges a fixed amount of miles for travel between regions. You can find the number of miles you need for your next trip by checking the award chart. And lastly, the taxes and fees vary by destination and partner airline. You can avoid fuel surcharges by avoiding British Airways flights across the Atlantic. In the next video, I'll show you how to book travel with American Miles. We'll see you there.